Hello and welcome back. And I love this particular segment of the show. It's time for book chat. Sometimes I read, sometimes I don't, but once I do start reading a book, it's hard to put it down. Why? Because there are lots of interesting titles and topics out there with amazing authors. We have one of such authors in the building with us today. And our book in focus is called Common Sense for Single Ladies. Well, you might be looking at me and thinking, I'm not single. Of course I'm not, but there is a certain level of common sense that might be considered important for the single ladies out there. So we said we'll talk about this particular book today. TOLULOPE OkIemute is in the building with us. She's the founder of Priceless Journal, and she offers ghostwriting services, book cover designs, and Amazon publishing for aspiring authors. So it's great to have you in the building.
Thank you very much.
All right, so this is a very risky title to put on a book, Common Sense. As you go past the shelf and you see common sense, you're like, are you trying to say I don't have it? But I want to know what sort of definition you put to common sense.
Okay, thank you. Common sense is basically what we'll call gumption. The basic thing you expect people to know, but sometimes you don't find it.
Okay.
So that's basically what the common sense concept is all about.
You put this together how long ago?
That was in 2020.
2020. And you've been married for how long?
For 3 years now.
3 years. Okay. So this book, does it put you on a path to marriage for single ladies?
Yeah, it does.
That's what you
I was married when
you put
made
this.
Yeah.
All right, then. So let's talk a little bit about some of your chapter titles here. Have you met a lady? Aha, that's the first thing that hit me. Have you met a lady? So you put it out there that, you know, there's certain characteristics of a lady, yes?
Definitely.
All right, talk to us a bit about that chapter.
All right, so being a lady is not just about being a mature female,
Okay.
probably because age-wise, but being a lady has to do with class, with your courage, the way you carry yourself. All right, being a lady also has to do with the way your presentation, your composure, and you know everything that goes with your courage. So you can be a grown woman, but you know the way you, from your conversation, your behavior, your conduct, one would know that this person, a lady is a refined female. So that's basically what a lady. So the concept of that chapter is, don't think that because you are grown up, you can be called a lady. There is a way you behave that makes you worthy of being called a lady.
Okay, so it's a journey. And you put a highlight on extravagance versus moderation somewhere in that chapter. But I was trying to understand why.
Okay, because a lady does not do things out of proportion. There is this moderation on everything you do. In terms of dressing, there's a way you dress, should I call it flamboyantly? There's a place for extravagance and there's a place for moderation, decency. So there's a way you dress that you know is just out of, it's just way too much.
Okay.
So I'm seeing a lady as someone who knows where to, keep a balance on things.
All right. I'm loving where you're going, but then there's a lot of information out there, especially online, about breaking glass ceilings, going for gold.
Painting the town red.
Exactly, you know. And the truth is there are a lot of women who have been put in a particular box, and it did, in some sort of way, pull them back, especially in terms of career goals. Now, being single and being a career woman, for instance, isn't there some kind of common sense in, you know, putting yourself out there, being a little bit more extravagant?
Well, you know, being single and putting yourself out there doesn't necessarily mean you have to be extravagant. You know, you can go all out, but there should be this thing guiding you and making you know where to draw the line. Okay. So you don't go overboard and in the long run debase yourself by trying to call for attention.
Of course, now everyone has some kind of yardstick or a guidebook that they use. Obviously, you are talking about, in religious terms here, you use the Bible here as your guideline and your, rule book for ladies, especially with regards to being over flamboyant. But then you then come into another chapter talking about the objectified woman. And it sort of flips everything on its head. Don't be extravagant, don't be flamboyant. But then you mentioned that we live in a patriarchal society. So where were you going with this chapter?
I was going in the line of not, I hear it's a man's world. And I see ladies these days, or let me not call them ladies this time. I see a lot of us in the feminine, the female. I see a lot of things that we do these days that instead of attracting the right person, probably I know there is this general desire for humans to be seen, to be attention. We want attention, okay? But while doing that, we should not make ourselves become objects of pleasure, like toys for the men folk. At the center of the whole indecency in the society today, I see female at the center of it. And it's alarming because I feel it makes people to be taken for granted.
Okay.
So that's the idea of being, when I talk about objectified woman, I'm looking at the woman that has placed herself at a level where she's been taken for granted. And in the terms of the spiritual, even if we keep spirituality aside, in the society generally, there are certain conducts that are expected of, somebody that calls herself a lady that knows class,
I do?
You do.
I do?
Because
okay, all right. Thank you so much. I actually love the way you're breaking it down, and you do try to give a balance in your book, and I know that a lot of young people will learn from it. Now, you still go through quite a lot of different topics. We're going to be wrapping it up right now, so we don't let too much out of the bag. Okay. But please, look out for the book, Common Sense for Single Ladies, from TOLULOPE Okiemute. Thank you so much for joining us. I was looking forward to talking about 7 ways to attract a good man, but we won't go into that. We'll let people go and get that one themselves. We're going to be moving on to the kitchen, and Winfrey is standing by.